Greetings, dear precious spirit soul, divine being that you are. That's who you really, those are still just words to try and describe you, but words cannot describe you. Words only describe what we're producing, in a sense, on the outer worlds. And everything here has a word, everything has a sound. Here it is, my topic. Are you ready? Manifesting beyond money. One of the things I always would try to get people to do when teaching prosperity is to really look at what is it that you believe that the money is going to do for you. Because people say, well, I just want to be a multi-millionaire, billionaire. Okay, yeah. Why? Well, take a look. Well, I could do anything I wanted to do. I could buy whatever I wanted to buy. I could get whatever I wanted to get. I could do whatever I wanted to do. Okay, that's interesting. Now, the key is, oftentimes, it's to do whatever you might say would be immoral. That means it would harm someone else as well as yourself. And there is an everlasting agreement. And that everlasting agreement is an absolute truth that holds us all together, ties us all who are divine beings. And that is to never cause distress, harm, or death to an animal or a human, or to eat the flesh of an animal or human. Because when that happens, it so disrupts the natural harmony of life, of who we are and how life is, how the outer world is, that it generates all wars. I have a book that says the killing of the cow means the end of human life, human beings. People say, well, how could that be? It's just meat. No, what do you mean? It's food. Really? Where did we get that an animal is food for this body? Or a human is good for this body? And that causes such a disruption to go against the law of God, you might say. The only rule that there is for a divine being is to not cause harm, distress to any living entity, animal or human, in any way, or to their body. Now, how to manifest beyond money. First of all, you have to be in harmony with the law of God, the divine law of nature. We said, well, yeah, but after the flood, who told you that and who wrote that down? A human being wrote those words down there. Why? Well, God inspired them, channeled. Really? Sure, right. In the beginning, no. Animals ate the same things humans did. Would be grains and leaves, fruit. I mean, how many dogs love fruit? And, my cat, she doesn't like human fruit. That's the problem. Anyway, so what happens then is that because people want to manifest, they want to have certain things in their lives. They've been told they had to work hard. They've been told you had to steal it. Remember, there was this original bank robber, Willie Sutton. My grandma told me about him, great-grandma. And a psychologist interviewed him in jail and asked him why he robbed banks. He said, well, because that's where the money is. Duh. Yeah, exactly. That's who makes it. Come on, let's look at that. So You first have to be in harmony with divine law in order for you to be in the realm of divine magic. That's real magic, not magi or magician or illusion, magnetic. Say mag, M-A-G. Okay, you gotta know the words, because English is designed as spell casting language, taking parts and bits of other languages to bring it together. That's why wanting it to be the one world religion. I mean, not just religion, all the stuff, language, because it is spell casting by the sound and the meaning that is given. And we don't make the meanings. The meanings have been given to us in the dictionaries. And that dictionary holding all the words, where everything here, it has a word fixed to it, and how words are created. All right, so then we're taught, in order to get what you want, you have to have the money. And what I always tried to get people to look at was that, is it the money or what you're going to get from the money? And it was, well, that was it, but the money would make them feel secure. Okay, security. But is it secure when you realize that of all of these so-called disasters that are going on in the world, this what they are, nature and that sort of thing, where people have invested their entire money, all their hard work, all their elbow grease, so to speak, all their attention, worry, concern, fear, fighting over it, all that stuff, in order to own the houses and the properties and the buildings and all of this, and that all went into that for their security, is gone. And then it can be fixed where you didn't get any insurance because it was an act of God. But really, who's God? I know. I'm thinking of things, but I'm going to stay right here. And so you have to look at, what am I going to, well, I'm going to get security. Well, the security doesn't come from there. And then you got to have a whole bunch of guards. You got to have a gunman at the door. You got to have all this stuff to protect all the stuff you got now. So you got to worry about it because somebody wants to get it. And you got to have big walls around your estate, where you're living. Make sure nobody's going to get in there and get your stuff, but they also won't know what you're doing in there either. And that's why you see a lot of, like, you've got Vlad the Impaler, who was like this Dracula person of Europe, and was a blood drinker, and eat people and kill them and love torture. This is kind of whatever this is. So that's someone who is not living in harmony with God's laws. And yet you say, yeah, but they're rich and they have a lot of stuff and they have a lot of money and they have a lot of property. Yes. But are we saying that to be okay as a person, you have to have all that because then that means you're worth something? You don't want to be worth something because you're a no thing. You're a divine being who is a manifester through your own consciousness of words and meanings, and how and what you believe those words mean, and give them life, and then make them alive by our reacting to them, and giving words the privilege to dictate to us and tell us who we are. When you're the thinker, why would you let your thoughts tell you who you are? Well, if I'm the thinker, but where do your thoughts come from? Even relationship and anything. The mind is evil most of the time, unless you control it, unless you understand and know how it's operating. So it's then how you manifest beyond money. You have to look at, first of all, being in harmony with the divine. And so you are naturally in the process of divine magic, where what you need in this world and beyond is always available and given to you in the moment that you need it. That's divine magic. That works naturally for us when we're in that natural state of our own knowing and being who we are, and living by that everlasting agreement. And Dr. Shmuel Asher, in his book, The Land of Meat and Honey, which I would say would be required reading for every Christian, Jew, or Muslim who practice the Abrahamic religions, because the Vedic, the Buddhists and the Hindus already knew the everlasting agreement, which was not to cause distress to any living entity, animal or human. And that came from in that original Hebrew, but it was also known in the original Vedic and Hindu, because they were all vegetarians, honoring life, and without not trying to war on someone to get anything, because when you're in harmony with your divine nature, you're not manifesting someone else's reality that has been taught to you or indoctrinated you with through education, movies, media, religion, or any of those kind of things. It's you're so natural and in tune that you are in the joy of being, and whatever you need comes to you when you need it. And if you don't need it, it's not there if you don't need it. It's just the way it is. So many people say, well, I need all this money so I can then do what I want to do. Well, what would you want to be doing? Well, why can't you go do that now? Why can't you start doing that? Well, because it's not going to be big enough and great. Well, what is it? Well, I want a lot of glorification. I want a lot of people to see who I am and see how great I am and how fabulous I am. And I'm just, well, that would be like a person that you would say has a problem, because they're not self-satisfied. They're parasiting other people to get their attention and their life force, as if you don't have enough. It's the same thing of eating the flesh and the blood of a living entity, a human or an animal, so that you can have life in your own body, that you're going to take that to give you something, when you already have all that's capable of anyone having in the divine, in the spiritual, is already who you are. So this world operates like the snake biting its own tail, where everything lives off of everything else. This is how this physical manifestation operates. That's the way it does. So when you tune into who you are, instead of tuning into the physical manifestation, you understand how the physical manifestation comes about, because you have that knowledge. I teach that knowledge. And that's what I offer you when we do counseling over the phone or teaching. I'll work out some program for you, whatever you want, or come to retreats in Shasta and workshops that I'm working with. And I will share with you all of this knowledge. And so that you then have it, and then we practice it, and you implement it, and you put it to work, and also discover those curses, those stoppages, those obstacles that you've been manifesting yourself, which we didn't know we were doing it, because that's the brilliance of this system that hacks people's own divine energy, is that people do it then willingly, give their power to money. And it's all set up that if you don't have money, you don't get food, you don't get this, you don't get shelter, you don't get respect, nobody knows, and all of this sort of thing. And here you are in a physical body going, well, gosh, I got to survive. But first of all, you don't need to survive. You are life itself. You're an eternal being. Get that first. And then also know what the physical body is, and the physical mind, intelligence and false ego, how that operates and what that is, so you know that. Because who would actually get in a car or any kind of a machine or an airplane and get into it and have no idea what it does and how to work it? But all of a sudden we're in the body, and then we've got to figure out how to work it and get it to talk and to walk and to get what it needs and wants. And then it's also looking that everybody around you has stuff and they're giving it to you, and if you don't get it from them, you're not going to get it anywhere else. And then you want their love and their attention and all this stuff. So now we get to be big people, and we're trying to manifest. So we think, well, if I had the money, then my life would be good. I could get all this stuff. So then you have to look at, and how many people do jobs that they would never do unless they were paid money for it. But guess what? That person is held accountable for what they do, whether you get paid for it or not, in the divine, because that's the way it is. And then that's what that person is doing to themselves, the very thing that they're doing to someone else, like that, or animal or human, and having no idea why everything's so difficult, and there's diseases, and there's wars, and there's conflict. And then see people say, I want peace. Oh yeah, well, if we'll have peace, if we have a one world, all organization that's run by a few people, and there'll be peace for everybody. No. That's not peace. That's everybody say, oh, I want peace. I'm tired of these wars. I want peace. Forget that. You know how you have peace of mind? Stop eating and killing an animal. Understand and know who you really are in every moment. Know the uselessness of worry and fear and where it's manufactured from, and know who you are. Period. You're at peace. You don't need people to give you peace. You don't need somebody to make it nice for you. This is who you are. So how to manifest then beyond money is to know and understand what money is, and there's moneyed worlds and there's non-moneyed worlds. And when you know who you are, then you manifest, and you'd be surprised, truly, of what's really possible to you beyond what we've been taught as to how to be, do, and have what you want, but how to achieve it, how to get it, how to be there. And then you've got all these people who focus on people who have an enormous amount of money, wealth, and therefore stuff, as if that's the ultimate, and these are great souls, are great people. But that's not true. Everybody's a great soul. Everybody's special. You have some teachers say, well, you know, you're not special. Well, yeah, in hive mentality, nobody's special. All those ants look alike. I'm telling you, they're not like different. And they all perform a function for the queen. Okay? And what that means, too, is that she then keeps that the genetic, those genes alive for the ants, because she's laying the eggs. She got a job for them. Okay? So, but they're all serving her because they're serving the hive for that particular insect of what it does for the earth and does that sort of thing. That's how it operates. But you're not an insect. But if you have insect mentality, okay, then you have hive mentality, and then you believe what you've been taught, and then making money God, and then money is the source of your happiness and your misery, when it's actually your own mind, and there's nothing wrong with you. You've already made it, and what you have to show for your life is you, and you are whole, complete, and perfect with nothing missing, and totally capable and able in any moment of now to be protected, maintained. Yes, it's all there. And how you manifest beyond money is by knowing and being who you are, and knowing the practice of divine magic, how that actually really works. You might call it the answer to prayer, or because you are actually staying in God consciousness and never wavering. And that's the greatest work in this world, because it's all about you. And then when it's all about you, it's all about me, and it's all about us, but we're not a bunch of ants. We're divine beings who also cooperate in our also individuality. Absolutely. So I invite you to contact me. We have phone call sessions, teaching, depending on what you want, mentoring to help you, whatever, to find your career, to succeed in that, to do what you want to be doing, to be giving your gifts, for prayer healing, to become a prayer healing, a spiritual healing practitioner. Good things. So if you like this and you want more of it and you want to use it and be fully who you are, then you can reach me through my website, which is below the video, and you can find the email, and you can email me, and I'd love to work with you. I'd love to be there to support you, my dear, in being all that you are, because that is the greatest work in the world. Hugs.